Hey, everybody, and welcome back. It is once again that time of the week. It is the ECS Hangout time. It's where we talk about cars, car shows, car things, everything car related. So if you run a show, if you run something this is car related, you're welcome to come out, talk to us. This is obviously sponsored by Control Freak, controlfreakcompany.com. So make sure you head over there and check out some of their product. As always, if you want to check us out, it's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all those cool social media sites. So I am your moderator today. And as always, my name is Primo. And to my right is my production and Lord of ECS Magazine, Reggie. Say hello, Reggie.
Hello, Reggie.
And perfect. So we got two guys that are going to be sharing some space on the lower left over here. And if you guys could introduce yourselves and tell everybody what you're about.
We're putting on a show down in the Valley, October 7th, 8th, and 9th in Maggie Valley, North Carolina.
And I'm Mitchell Metcalf, and I'm also his partner in the business, along with.
You kind of cut out. I didn't hear the business.
We're just the partners in the business, along with Chris Tryon.
Uh-huh. And what's the business again?
Showdown in the Valley. We're all three partners.
Perfect. All right. And then, as usual, our resident, what do you call it? Would you call yourself our resident toolsmith down there, Vinny?
Toolsmith. I don't know about that. Resident crazy person, I guess. I don't know.
Well, introduce yourself to everybody and let everybody know what you're about. He's actually putting something in his car right now, working on a product. But yeah, say hello.
Yeah, I'm actually out in the garage right now. But yeah, Vinny from Creeps Car Club, also life in the passenger seat. I don't know. I was working out in the garage, so I decided to stay out here and jump on board.
I love it. And the idea that you'll actually be able to work on something and give us input while you're doing it based on the topic today. So, and we have one more person that just popped right in. We're hoping that you'd be able to make it out. Reggie was saying, connections and everything like that. He sets it up really badly. So, but yeah, I believe you're Kelly, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
We hear you perfectly.
Awesome.
Feel free to introduce yourself and let everybody know what you're about.
I'm Kelly Marie. I just did the cover of the magazine for this month, so I figured I would come say hello.
Yeah, is that your first cover, or is this one of many?
It's my 6th.
Wow, nice. And of all the covers you did, what was your favorite vehicle?
Well, the other ones weren't car ones. This is my first car one.
Oh, okay, so then this one is the favorite. That's that. Reggie, which one is that? What's the truck? Do you know yet, or do you have the details? Can you release it?
It's a Nissan 720. It's already been released.
Oh, perfect. All right, perfect.
Matter of fact, she's probably got the magazine right there with her.
Yeah, I remember you sending me the link to it, but I wasn't sure if it came out yet. So perfect. All right. So today we are talking about air ride suspension, hydraulics, static, stock, lifted, every type of suspension out there. And we have somebody else joining us at the last minute here. Introduce yourselves and let everybody know what you're about, buddy.
Shane Andrews got the tribute truck.
Perfect. Did you hear what we were talking about today?
I was traveling, coming back across from the mountain.
Nice. So we're talking today about air ride, hydraulic, static, stock, and lifted, basically anything suspension oriented today. We wanted to go over some details and see kind of what everybody's favorite is, what they've used the most, and if there's any kind of like specialty thing that they have about it. In other words, if there's a special brand that you like. And anybody tonight that wants to start off can go ahead and hit the bricks. Who's got the first one on it? Anybody? What is your favorite setup?
Well,
I'm
partial to the air ride. I've been bagging or into bag trucks since early 2000s. I bought my first S10 It was a 99 S10. It was fairly new, and I threw air ride in my parents' garage. So been doing that basically ever since. Had a bunch of bagged vehicles. Currently, let me grab the phone. Currently, I have, for those that don't quite know me, and since I'm outside, if you can see it in the dark, I have a bagged 49 Chevy 3100 that's on a back TAF S10 frame. So yeah, I don't know. I really like. Sorry about the loud garage door. I really like air ride, but sadly, I'm working on my wife's car right now. We got a '53 Plymouth that we
like
bought for
that.
her, and I'm installing some coils because she doesn't want air ride. So, so yeah, that's what I'm stuck doing. It's a funny suspension.
Have you ever done anything with hydraulic before? Or?
No, I've never done hydraulics. I mean, being in New England, we had I honestly don't know the reputation of the shop, but we had Motion Hydraulics in Brockton, who was kind of like, I guess, the known ones around here. I never really got into hydraulics. Some of the other guys might know a little more and be able to correct me, but that's really the only shop I remember that did hydraulics in this area.
Yeah, that was somebody I know, and he's a good guy. Anybody else in here have any history with hydraulics? Remember that anytime too, both with remember that inside the thing, it's more of this is open conversation. So anything that's in here that you have, it's a topic. Anybody out there that's on Facebook or YouTube or any of that, if you put a message up, we'll have it feed up on the right, and you'll be able to give us some input as well. And if there's a question that we have, we'll have somebody answer it. So yeah, no, what you said you did, Reggie?
Oh yeah, I've had a little bit of everything.
Perfect. Now you did air ride and hydraulic and the other stuff. What
No,
did you find was nothing from air ride?
I never did. I always did static, the hydraulics. I never did make it air ride suspension, to be honest with you. I always build hopping cars or static lowered vehicles, lowered trucks. But my mini truck was in Mini Trucking Magazine. Does that count?
Not sure. Well, I want to know more like kind of the experience with the hydraulic and what's the different things. Because with air ride, I think it's more of you could bag control. In other words, air pressure. But with hydraulics, I haven't had much history of working on anything that they work on. And what is like the things that you run into with that's really kind of different from most of the other vehicle types and setups that there are out there?
Well, I had a buddy that lived down the street from me. He had it was a pretty rare car. It was a Pontiac Parisian. And it was on hydraulics. Not a crazy setup that 3-wheeled or hopped or anything like that, but it was pretty cool. It got pretty low. It didn't have the crazy camber in it. He drove it all the time. It had 14s, not 13s. Like he set it up really, really nice. But what I will say is there's definitely a difference when you have those accumulators on. Like he turned them off and we went cruising and my head almost went through the sunroof whenever he hit a bump. But then as soon as he stopped and he's like, now check this out. And he turned the accumulators on or opened them up or however that works. And it was better than riding in my bag truck. Wow. Like it was incredibly smooth how that car was set up with those accumulators on.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can go. I mean, I don't know the adjustability. I mean, I know it's ride height adjustable, but whether you can open those halfway or have them automatic open, so you don't have to get out, open the trunk, turn them on, open them up. I don't know how really any of that works. I imagine you can, especially nowadays. This was back in like, I don't know, 04, 05 maybe. So old technology, I guess now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, there's definitely. I mean, people say airbags because your leaks aren't a mess, but I mean, if you got hydros with accumulator set up, I mean, it rode just as good.
Yeah. Well, Mitchell and I bet Shane, right? It's Mitchell and Shane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys have right now, and what are you guys using?
I've got a body drop little Sonoma that's on air ride. Never had anything hydraulic. Air ride or
Mhm.
stuff.
How about you, Mitchell?
I'm into the lifted side of the industry. Have been for a while, but I started out in mini trucks. It's just static, you know, just air. We are contemplating this there too, which is a hydraulic setup over Colo. So kind of have
Mhm.
both worlds.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people mixing the setups together and getting a lot better, results from it, if you will. You know what I mean? Well, Shane, lower right, Shane. What do you have? What are you using on that truck?
I'm on air ride,
Mhm.
and I started it out like everybody, and then moved over to the air ride.
Yeah. Kelly, what are you driving right now?
I drive a 2021 Ram 1500,
Oh, yeah.
and
And
it
chicken pickup truck.
has a 2-inch lift from Mopar, and it has 35s knobbies on it. So it's not what I want it to be,
Right.
but it's legal in Massachusetts, so that's where I'm at right now. So
Do you have any plans for it down the road?
I mean, I would love to lift it more, but I don't
The
want
rules,
the hassle, I guess.
the rules
so.
are rough. That's the problem. I always get around the rules. So you start lifting stuff around here, and it's like they start questioning. But I guess it's a lot more passive when it comes to trucks. When you're a lowered car, like I run, all of my cars have pretty much been static on coilovers, basically race setups, because it's just easier to have it set up for, like, if I go to the track, I have it set the way I'm going to set it, and I'll just drive it like that. And people think it's weird, but with that kind of thing, people like getting an inspection sticker up here is impossible.
Yeah, it has a custom
even-
exhaust though. It sounds really nice, and it has a aftermarket intake. So,
Yeah.
and all my emblems are pink, and it's a black truck, so black rims. It's nice.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
So everybody seems to be, I mean, I think Reggie and I have done the static stuff. Vinny's done the static stuff, but also you guys have also done the air ride thing. So do you have a company with air ride that you kind of like go to, or are you kind of just any air ride will do? Is there anything specific for a vehicle, or anybody can jump in?
I again, I'm old school, so I'll let Shane go.
I'm sponsored by X2 Industries, and I also mixed it in with the AccuAir. So I'm with both, and I'm with who I always use.
Perfect. And Mitchell, do you guys have anything over there that you like go through?
I've got AccuAir on that. Just with.
Yeah. Perfect. And what's your kind of favorite there, Reggie?
I just want to ask Kelly what was her first experience with a bagged out legendary mini truck.
I didn't even know it was a truck until I saw the back of it, and then new to that. I'm sorry, but I like classic cars, classic muscle cars. I'm a Mustang girl, Camaro, that sort of thing. So this was very different for me. It's very interesting. The paint job was crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, and you definitely didn't realize it, but what you shot with was a very iconic lowrider mini truck. I mean, everybody in the mini truck
Yeah.
scene knows that truck.
Yeah, it's a very well-known vehicle. It was just very new to me. I've never even. It was interesting.
Yeah, it's a shame that we can't never get Joe in here. Joe never comes on this thing. Never.
I'm not surprised. He's kind of reserved. He's a reserved guy. I don't know.
He's on Facebook and all the media all the time. He's always making comments and doing stuff. So it's like, I'm guessing it's a live thing that kind of shakes him or rattles him a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
I just saw him actually at the show at the DCU Center.
Nice answer. Import Evolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
haven't you been for some major shows already? You've been involved with some recent shows, Import
Yeah.
Evolution, like
Yeah.
Summer Slam Up. Weren't you there too?
No.
Who was
No.
who was
I'll be at IFO next year though.
Oh, see, so I mean, she's involved with the car scene, different types. The mini
Yes.
truck thing was kind of different for her, and I know I threw that at her, but it was different for her because the reason I wanted that because it was a southern truck. It's well known from the south. The guy
Yeah.
up here in Massachusetts bought it and brought it up here.
Yeah.
And, before that truck disappears, I wanted it on the cover anyway.
Yeah. It was nice. Very
And mini
nice.
trucks are not really a big thing up north. That's more of a southern thing. That's more down south. The big trucks and the bag trucks. That's the big thing down south.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of stuff growing up here too, and that's the thing is it really pre-pandemic, if you will, it really started picking up. I saw a lot of people doing a lot more trucks. I mean, obviously trucks are a big thing now. They're only going to grow, getting bigger and bigger and bigger over time because the demand for them, and it's what's for sale. You want to go to some place and get something, they're going to have a truck available for you, and it just does a lot of different things, and I think people are really getting into it. And that's the thing is the more you get into one thing, the more you take steps back into that classic ideology that's mini trucks and that kind of stuff. And there's so many build options for that kind of thing that I think it does stand out as being different, while it's still that classic styling that doesn't get you. So if you're a classic car person and you build a classic truck, you're not too far off from what you always built in general. You know what I mean? You could still stick to your base roots while building something that people go, it brings attention to it. I mean, Shane, you'd agree with that, right?
Which Shane?
Yeah.
There's two of
That
them.
one at the bottom. He's like, yeah, look at, yeah, there you go. Well, we got a comment here. Lowriders got me into the custom car scene, which is also what got me doing auto photography. I'm currently building a bag truck out of a truck I inherited from my dad. That's awesome. So yeah, I want to hear how long that truck is. Has it been in the family a long time? Is it, how far along is it? That kind of stuff. What's the build you plan on doing with it? And where is it at now? Like there's a lot of, when it comes to builds, we have a lot of questions. So does anybody have any projects other than Vinny, obviously, that they're working on right now that they have stuff going? Where are you at in your processes?
I honestly always have something going on with any build that I own.
Mm-hmm.
Radio and go back with some bigger audio this time. Never satisfied, so you always.
Mm-hmm.
That's a trick question.
Yeah,
Custom cars are never done. Never done.
That's the beauty of it is that I know that people have an input to the question when I give it to them. Shane and Andrews, do you have any more plans for your truck? You got a lot of other things that you're going to be doing to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I plan on it, but slow down it all with all the shows and everything. Like I haven't had 2 weeks to even spend show after show after show. And I mean, I was originally planning, what was it, in March of next year. That was my original plan, was stopping, taking a break. But now I have next year with shows. So I don't really think I'm going to have time to pull it off and do anytime soon because I've committed a lot more to the show side and also the mill show and the truck. So I really don't have any time to take it off and get anything done anytime soon that I want to get done. Like I wanted to take it back, get the front bumper air South Dakota, get it re-clear coated, but as of right now, I don't see it happening anymore.
How much, and when you guys do most of the car show circles that you guys are doing, because a lot of you guys do multi-state stuff and things like that, how much does it take to get, like, you've gone through the cycle, now you're done with it. There's a little bit of upkeep, obviously, when you're doing the shows, but when you come back from the shows or that show world, if you will, when you've done that kind of tour, how much work does it take to get the car back to where it was, or is it able to kind of keep up with it as you're going along?
I'm generally, because I travel so far, like I will be home for 3 days and 3 days got it jacked up. I'm polishing up underneath, and then I'm putting fuel, of course, at the last show which Shane and Mitchell were at. So ran out of fuel. So I didn't fill it up that time, but usually that's what I'm doing. I'm going. I really only have about a day, 2 days, maybe to rest in between, and it's just I'm kind of day. It's every day I'm doing the same routine, week in and week out.
Got it. Well, the Kennedy responded back. It's a 1995 F-150 XLT. My dad bought it brand new for the last 3 years. It's been a bare frame on jack stands. Time and money have not been on my side for a while. Then DJ Mays radio. I started static, went to hydros, and finally air ride. It seems like everybody keeps going back to air ride. Air is smoother and cleaner without a doubt. John Davis says, "What's up, guys?" And then Kennedy said again, "I'm planning on getting back on the grind this year. I want to get in Reggie's magazine, and hopefully it's me or Danny that does the photo shoots." And then finally DJ May, Shane Andrews, and I are almost travel buddies this year. So yeah. So what does DJ Mays have there, Shane?
That's the main right there.
He's got an S10, clean S10, and he's actually in the process of redoing it, a square body, just redoing his, and I can't wait to see it come out. Hopefully it'll be out. I think it in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. The last I talked to him, so I'm out next year.
Nice. All right, and Vinny, so what do you got in there, buddy? Are you still working on the spring setup there?
Yeah, I'm attempting. I might have to take it to the shop and get a bushing reamed out. But
This was going for a garage trip for you. We already got a problem you ran into?
yeah, come on, man. It's always a problem on these
Right.
little things. I mean, this is definitely a setup. I guarantee nobody in this chat or probably even watching has seen a setup like this. So this is the upper and lower control arm on the Plymouth. I don't know. Am I in the shot here?
Yeah, you're good.
Upper and lower control arm, coil spring. So it's technically an independent front suspension, but it still runs a kingpin. I don't know if you can see the knuckle. It still runs a kingpin like a solid front axle.
Wow.
So this is what rides up and down. This is, I don't even know what you would call this piece. But, what's that? Did somebody say something? I don't know.
Mitchell.
But yeah, so it goes between the upper and lower control arm, and that's what holds them together, almost like your ball joint. But then it's got a steering knuckle, like a solid front axle. So, and the lower bushing is what I'm having a little bit of problems with right now. The other side was nice and easy. Of course, there's one side that's going to be the pain.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's where I'm at. I might actually go in the house because I'm getting a little aggravated now.
Yeah. Well, it's typical. I wish I was. And I was like, times that I wish I was down there to help people out or do whatever when I was working on something, but it always ends up the timing. So DJ Mazed's Teal Short will be back. Nat's 30th anniversary in April 2024. So there he goes for his date right there. Reggie, did you have some input there that you wanted to give?
Well, I wanted to hear more about the Summer Nationals that's going on in Maggie Valley that my boys right there are going to be putting on coming up soon.
There you go.
Well, it's actually a showdown in the valley.
I'm sorry.
I'll forgive you one time. Showdown in the valley, October 7th through the 9th. To do a fall show, but we also didn't want to just come completely off and be from the lifted side of the industry. Shane's from the bag community, and I'm always at bag with that goofball Shane Andrews with no gas. But come out and have a good time, do some cruising, and enjoy themselves.
What made y'all decide to do it in Maggie Valley, the same area that Mini Trucking Nationals is held at? And just out of curiosity.
Well, we've been talking about a show probably for 3 to 4 years, and we actually live in the area.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I never left Maggie Valley, but being from the area, knowing the area, and knowing amazing with all the fall colors, and it's supposed to be. So far the weather forecast is
Is it looking good? Did you say?
Oh yeah, so far
Yeah,
looks like it's going to be in the 60s all weekend.
nice.
Beats that.
Yeah, the thing is that it seems to the weather seems to be like it had like we had a rainy spot, but the weather seems to be turning again to being really clear and having good temp as we move in towards the fall and that kind of. I mean, we've got stuff lined up. At least for me, it's been pretty much a nonstop flow of things all the way into October. So, does everybody else have kind of the full calendar, or are you kind of just winging it?
It's pretty full.
Yeah.
Am I
Kelly-
the only? Am I
Kelly's
the only?
shaking her head like she's got like 50. What do you got on the schedule, Kelly?
Well, I go to school full time, I run my own salon, and I have car shows every weekend.
Wow. I know that feeling. Yeah. Not so much the hairdressing stuff because I'm a little bit, but yeah, everything else.
Oh yeah.
I'm always busy, always busy. I have a car show every single Sunday until the end of October, and then break time.
Yeah. Vinny, are you busy? Because I know you got that new show that you're doing. How's everything coming together with your schedule?
Oh yeah, I mean, we had our show a couple weeks ago, and then there's been a couple shows since. But coming up, there's a show. What is it? Sunday. There's the John Martins Foundation, which they put on a show. It used to be at McCoy Stadium. This year, it's actually in Pawtucket. This year, it's moved with the sale of the Paw Sox and that kind of stuff. But it's moved to R1, the indoor go-kart track that's in Lincoln, Rhode Island, is moved to that parking lot. It's a show that I always support because it's set up by the John Martins Foundation, and John Martins was my boss's uncle, so who died in a tow truck accident. He was the owner of Sterry Street Towing in Rhode Island. So he was my boss's uncle, so that's a show that I don't ever miss, and I help support. But other than that, honestly, I'm doing a lot of traveling, not car wise. I'm going to see family in Virginia in a couple weeks, and then after that, I'm going on a camping trip. So I mean, honestly, nothing car related after that for a while.
Yeah, that's my thing. I got to get back to Virginia. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I want to see. That it's kind of every time I'd go down, it was always we were doing something for whatever we were doing. Like, I guess you'd say work, but and I never got to really experience any of the car shows since. And the area that was like Martinsville Speedway and stuff like that, there's a lot of less. It's not as busy as it used to be. So I want to head over to see what they have in like Raleigh or like Roanoke or Danville or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So Kendi says, I want to try and go back to Maggie Valley next year. I'm supposed to go to Bama, so not sure if I'll make it back to Maggie yet. DJ Mays says, I still have 6 more shows to DJ till the end of the year. Dustin A, hydros are the best. This is the first one for the hydraulics. Hydros are the best. No doubt. No waiting on compression and hit the switch and go. And Dustin, if you use nitrogen, no need for compressors, no oil and no water, air on demand. So there you go. That's something I never thought about. Huh? Yeah,
Look, you have to get those tanks filled. You can't recycle. Well, not that I know of. I mean, old technology.
Right.
But I used to have some friends that ran nitrogen. Compressed air. I can't remember if it was nitrogen or not, but and yeah, you gotta get those tanks filled. They're like a welding tank. I mean, you run them up to 1,000-something PSI, and you got air, but and then reduce it down. Obviously, you're not filling a bag at 1,000 PSI, but it's not, as far as I know, it's not. You don't salvage the air once it leaves the bag. You can, I guess, plumb it back in. I don't know, but it's gone. So you gotta have it.
There you go. Has anybody else used nitrogen in their setups? No, it's like nobody's like, I have no idea.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, there was one guy that I used to hang out with who ran. It was some sort of compressed air. I can't remember if it was oxygen or if it was nitrogen, but Yeah, it was. He had to go to like a scuba shop to get his tank filled up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
DJ is saying, yeah, you have to swap out the tanks when they
Yeah.
get low. So there you go. That's pretty crazy. I never now I got to look into something. I love that we'll have something and we'll talk about something. And I'm like, I've never experienced that before. Like, I don't know how to, I got to get in and take a look at that. I remember when they first started, there was a point when everybody was filling up tires with anything and everything they could get their hands on. You know what I mean? Like suddenly air was like just not the thing anymore. And they were looking for something like, what do you call it? Like synthetic oil for their tire. You know what I mean? It was like, what's the next big thing that everybody's going to use? And it's like, everybody's going to kind of stick to air because it's what they can get a hold of, you know? But yeah, now everything's synthetic, and like you get to buy a truck. Right, Kelly, you buy a truck and they tell you don't come in except once a year to do the oil changes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is everybody, I still have people that I know that are like going in every 3,000 miles to get an oil change. And there's dealerships out there that are like, oh yeah, that's when you take it in. Like, they don't even use that kind of oil anymore. Like I forgot the wording for it, but they were like zero maintenance cars or something like that. Now there's a lot of places that even cover maintenance for part of the
I have
package.
an app. My app tells me when I need my oil changed.
Isn't that crazy? Is it good?
Yeah.
Is it good at what it does, or is it more like is it guessing?
I don't know. It seems to be pretty accurate. I
Yeah, there
mean,
you go. Yeah. Does
it's
it?
pretty
does
cool.
it- does
I
it
can lock my
frequently?
truck from my phone. I mean, that's
Oh, there you go.
you know.
Does it now? Does it do it? Like how often does it tell you have to do the maintenance on the truck?
I have no idea.
Yeah, just like when it beeps, I drive it in.
I just
DJ,
do it when it tells me to. It doesn't
yeah,
seem very
exactly.
often.
Like that's why I got it right, so we don't have to worry about it anymore.
I've only put
DJ,
20,000 miles on it so far. So
oh wow, there you go. Yeah. DJ says had nitrogen since I bought my truck in 2013, all in a full season. I go through 3 full tanks. Wow. Okay. And Kennedy, I eventually want to build something with hydros, but for now I'm sticking to air. And that's the thing is there anybody in here that's been tempted to move to a hydraulic setup just to try it?
Yeah, I'm planning to.
Okay. Anybody else? No.
I'm installing a coil spring right now, so
Yeah, he's like, I'm a little bit no, but yeah.
I'm going backwards.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I will run into people that will be like hydraulics is the way to go. That's it. That's all I'm doing. And then most of the shops out there that I deal with, because I think more with the systems availability, want to do the air ride thing because I think it's easier. For me, I think hydraulic has a higher lifting point than I say. Am I wrong in that? The air ride systems only have a certain inch that they measure up or down versus a hydraulic is a lot higher.
Yeah, I mean, it's all geometry, really. There's your control arms can only go so far,
Right.
so you're really only limited by the travel itself. So that's why the backs of cars usually get way higher because you can do a slip yoke drive shaft and you put the longest link arms that you can find and trailing arms, and then you go to town. But the front, you're always limited by the travel of the control arms, no matter what you do. So,
yeah. So I guess nobody's in the bounce contest then.
yeah.
Oh no, I'm either going to either build a Lincoln Town car or a Geo Tracker. One of them two is going to be hydraulics, but I'm keeping my 4-wheel drive Tahoe.
I'm not feeling the Geo. I don't know.
Yeah, that's old school right there.
Right. Yeah.
Regular Geo Tracker is good on gas. Got a convertible top. You know.
Yeah. Like I said, I like the other one better. Let's see. So Dustin A bounced down the street, wheels hitting the switch at every corner, and that was the beauty of when we ran. What is it? Do you remember the one where we drove the car up in New Hampshire, the red car, right, Vinny? And he had hydraulics, and we were that was just amazing. I got to show you that video. I can't believe you didn't know that from the Kingpins.
Oh, okay, right. Well, Richie was on like a TV show or something, wasn't he?
Richie's been on everything. He's been on what's his name from was it Pixar Cars, the Mater? What's his name?
Yeah. Larry the Cable Guy. He was on
Yeah,
his
Larry
TV.
the Cable Guy. He was on his show, which
That
was
we're
weird.
up in the
Yeah,
winter.
they were like it was like it's like 6 degrees, and they're out trying to act like it's like 50 to 60, and it's like he's like,
yeah.
you're
Nice
just
summer day.
freezing and just don't do it. And then they did a show on it, so everybody comes out to the car show, and everybody at the show, you can tell they're like miserable, but it's Larry the Cable Guy's there, and they were having a ton of fun doing it, just hanging out with him. And it was a funny show too. It was one of the best ones I've seen. Kennedy says, I've seen some pretty fast trackers on Juice. It shows down at Franchise Fair. It says, Geo Tracker bounce so hard you flip it. Yeah, exactly. So, now when you guys outside of regular shows, do you guys have a choice between what kind of shows you go to? Is there anything that says this is the show that I want to go to, or is it is it just any show will do? Do you guys have a proofing process, or?
Nah, I just go to anything I really that I like, or if I have the time to.
Mhm.
I mean, family friendly stuff's always good because of my 2 kids, my wife. So family friendly is always a good plus. Or if it's good for a good charity or anything like that, I try and make it too. But yeah, I mean that's basically it. I mean, I've even gone to like those parking lot takeovers and stuff and had a pretty good time. So
Yeah.
I mean, if it's car related and I can make it, I try to make it.
Yeah. How about you, Kelly? What do you got? What makes you decide which car show you're going to pick during the week?
Whichever one pays you.
Usually the money, but
I'm sorry. That was funny.
I don't know. I actually prefer to for me, I like to just go to tie rods and stuff. I like the classic cars.
Yeah.
I grew up at New England Dragway with my dad. He drag raced Mustangs, so
Nice.
that's.
Did you go to Tie Rods a couple weeks ago?
I actually missed it, and I'm pissed about it.
That's the first time I went.
Yeah, I used to go every year as a kid. Every year.
It was a great show. It was incredible.
Yeah. How about you, Shane, lower right? What's the I know you got your sponsor stuff, but is there anything that's kind of made you decide which shows were going to get the car and which ones weren't?
I mostly tried hitting the big ones this year. I tried big ones where I was gonna be up against a lot of the, tougher rides. So I tried hitting the big ones where I knew the truck would be seen more.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, I took it to a couple of smaller shows, but I tried to hit as many this year.
Yeah. How about you, Mitchell? What do you got? Anything that makes you try out for a show, or?
Let's go for where all the people's at. A couple years ago, I was hitting everything just back to back to back, and I've been going the smaller shows the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Do any of you guys do SEMA at all?
So you'll be out there, won't you?
What was that? Which one? Yeah. Who was that?
I was supposed to go this year.
Go ahead, Shane. Shane Andrews is up. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll be at SEMA. I think Mitchell's going to be out there too.
Yeah. You're doing SEMA this year, right? Yeah, exactly. And what were you saying, Vinny?
I said I was supposed to go, but I never actually made it one year. Kind of bummed about it, but I never really tried after that, so I can't say that I've ever been.
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of different companies that we were associated with that we did stuff, and we came out to that. Do you know what I mean? And tried to do different things, and it was always something that always came up. But those guys actually got out and they did a lot of different shows and different things. That's a very interesting show. So Mitchell, did you ever what's your next big thing right now that you're coming to? Showdown in the Valley is your next big event?
Yeah, Showdown in the Valley is our event. I've kind of had to focus all of our time for the last 5, and it's took every ounce of it. And we've been trying to hit shows to promote, and Shane ended up and promote for us. DJ Mays, we've had a lot of great help from the community though. And if it wasn't Shane and DJ Mays and busy, and the Spark Show, and just all kinds of people at today, and plus all of our good sponsors that we've had.
Yeah. Well, can you did you tell us what time and like place that was at, or did I hear that? Because I don't think I missed it, or I didn't catch it.
I told you it's October 7th through the 9th.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday, 5 p.m. and 8 to 1, and we'll have awards at 1, and that is in Maggie Valley, Carolina.
Maggie Valley, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Yeah. So as I'm saying, you'll be saying stuff, and all of a sudden it's like it kicks out at the very end. I'm like, oh, come on. Oh, wait, did we have somebody new in the chat here, Reggie? Oh, okay. I thought you were playing a video.
No,
Sheesh.
the bottom right, that's DJ Mays. That's DJ Mays
Oh.
Radio.
Can he hear me? He can't hear you. He's got no sound. Yeah.
Is there sound now?
There's sound now. Yeah, that usually helps, right? What's going on, buddy?
No, I'm sitting here and I'm putting comments up real quick, and next thing I know, Reggie's sending me over a Facebook message saying, "Hey, dude, jump on."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
why
he does.
Why not have the DJ Mays Radio, the infamous legend?
Right.
Well, let's not carry it that far.
So from what you're hearing so far, what kind of input would you have to give to us, and kind of what's your stance on things? What kind of car do you drive? That kind of stuff.
Well, I started doing the mini truck stuff back in 1994, and so I've had 4 square body S10s, a round body S10, and a Dodge Dakota. So I've gone through the static days, when it was 3 and 5, and then it was 4 and 6, then it was 5 and 7, and then it was, well, I won't ever make it over a speed bump again. And then, in the Midwest where I'm at in the St. Louis area, we're kind of late to the party. So hydros were the only real option for us because air ride was so expensive at the time. So we're talking 96 range. And so I did Pro Hopper front hydraulics and air shocks in the rear. And I had a chrome roll pan, and I'm not kidding. That chrome roll pan was rainbow colored from all the oil that dripped out all the time from the hydraulics. That's why I said air ride is so much cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who had hydraulics, especially back in the day, can totally relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So your thing to now is just all air ride, nothing but air ride. Would you ever consider hydraulics again?
I would, mainly because the newer style hydraulics, you run accumulators and stuff like that. So your ride comes back, and the reliability factor is there a little bit more. I don't know that I would plan to run hydraulics, but depending on the vehicle I'm building, I mean, it could be appropriate.
Right. So what kind you have obviously DJ. Do you do DJs for show, or do you have a radio show, that kind of thing? Can you share that with everybody?
So I DJ a lot of the really big shows throughout the country. So like Scraping the Coast, next year, you guys heard it here first, but don't repeat it just yet. I'll be at Bad Alabama. And then I'm at I'm at Mini Nats every year. I still have 6 shows left to DJ this year. So the next year's schedule is set for 20 to 21 shows altogether. And then 2 or 3 days a week, I'm on Twitch, which is actually a gaming app.
Yeah.
Reggie's been on there.
Yeah.
Shane and Mitchell are on there all the time. Shane Andrews is on there all the time. And we play a bunch of old school hits, hang out, and just kind of BS and talk shows and trucks and everything else, and just a good time.
You're the first person other than me that's been on Twitch. And I've been on it both for gaming. I did racing games, and then I did it for just the regular stuff too. And do you get a lot of hit on Twitch? Do you do well there?
When I first started doing Twitch was right when the pandemic started. So March, April, May range of 2020. Some other DJ friends of mine were on there, and they're like, "Hey, we're just kind of doing this because we couldn't DJ bars and clubs and stuff no more."
Right.
So I thought, well, it's just something to do. And after a little bit, I started catering it a little bit more towards all the mini truck people and stuff. Well, I took about 6-7 months off from it. And a friend of mine is really good friends with DJ Magic Mike. Yeah, the DJ Magic Mike bass head that we all know from back in the 80s and 90s. And he got Magic Mike to reach out to me, and we got to talking a little bit, and he kind of showed me the ropes and kind of said, hey, you can do this and you can do that, and you can really make this into something. And I went pretty much, all in New Year's Eve of 2021, of 2020/2021, that New Year's Eve. And I've been pretty full bore since then. And I'll tell you what, I've met so many people because of it. And I've had so many new friendships and relationships started because of it. It's been amazing, honestly.
Perfect. And we had somebody else join the chat here. I'm going to have you introduce yourself and tell everybody what you're about.
Hey, is that me? Hey, it's Brett with Black Pearl Showboards. How are y'all?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Just chiming in. I got a few minutes away, and I thought I'd jump in and see how y'all were doing.
Yeah. Did you have any? You know what the show's about today, right?
I didn't. I didn't have a chance to look at any of it.
We're talking about air ride, hydraulic, static, stock, lifted. Currently, I think everybody's pretty much into the air ride scene now. They've pretty much dumped everything else to go. And then Vinny over here is falling apart because the thing that he has isn't working. So, but he'll get it pulled together. But
I got you.
But yeah, so what do you run right now? Do you have what's your vehicle? What's your setup? How do you have your suspension?
So I got a Ram 1500 running 40s. It's on 40s, so it's got about 11.5 inches of suspension. We're doing Fox coilovers on the front, and then a rear spacer with a rear spacer, and then shocks and everything in the back. So man, that works pretty good for what I've got. I don't have anything on the air. We have I have a 2004 Dodge Viper. We're looking into putting some coilovers and stuff on it, and just kind of get it down just a little bit. So I don't want to lower it too much, but yeah, I'd love to. I got a bunch of friends that run I guess it's Vivid Air. Is it maybe? I may not be saying that right, but I know a lot of people that's running that, that setup, and those cars really look good. So I got a couple friends that's got Chargers and Challengers, and they're all set up on that whole air ride suspension, and it looks really cool. So it's a showstopper when you go to some of these events, and everybody's looking at the car, and then you drop it on the ground, and more people come to look at it. So, yeah, it's a game changer for sure.
So most everybody here, I think, is a truck guy, right? You guys got everybody has a truck.
Yeah, that's what fuels my passion, I guess. It's what got me started.
Yeah. What's that, Vinny?
Sounds about right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody has a truck. I mean, I guess you could call Reggie's SUV a truck. But
I know he was going with a Geo, so I'm kind of.
Hey, what's wrong with Tahoe?
Other than the fact it's not inspected, nothing, I guess.
Whoa, no,
That's not my fault. That's the state. That's the state's fault, not my fault.
Nice.
If I was still in North Carolina, I wouldn't have this problem.
That's true. That's true.
It's a fact.
That's true.
Has anybody here had legal issues from the how low their vehicle rolled, or so how high it was, other than the Massachusetts people, obviously?
No, I mean, I got pulled over once in one of my bagged S10s for being too low.
Yeah.
The cop was pretty cool about it. He had a rookie with him, and he pulled me over and right down the street from my house, and he's like, your license plate's almost dragging on the ground. I had a drop tag roll pan on my old S10, and he's like, your license plate's almost dragging on the ground. So I said, I can fix that, and I reached over and hit the switch and lifted it up, and he stepped back into the lane of traffic. He stepped back, and he's like, just drive it like that from now on.
How about you, Mitchell?
That's cool.
Yes, I have. The state of Florida and the state of Tennessee hates lifted trucks.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Can you go in details on that?
They have headlight laws and bumper laws. So, like in Daytona, Florida or in Tennessee, but they will bust you. Florida.
How bad is it?
It's about $300 in Florida.
Wow.
Tennessee
Okay.
is a,
Yeah, that's serious.
And if Tennessee catches you a second time, they will impound.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah,
And now, when they impound, does it destroy it, or is that you pay your fine, go pick it up, and whatever, and you get it back?
You have to pay your fine. It can't be back on the road.
Mm-hmm. So it has to be fixed before.
Yeah, I had a couple years ago, and a bunch of them got stopped, and we had to actually trailer them, and luckily I get caught in that one.
Wow.
How does that apply to people that come through the state that are visiting and stuff like that? How does that apply to them? Do they just give them a warning or something? Or
you get Tennessee before you get the same treatment as somebody in state?
Yeah, there's no. It's the line is there is no. Ignorance is not an excuse. So they will. Yeah, that's Virginia's. I know for a fact Virginia is just one of the most critical places ever when it comes to driving through. Like I go through South Carolina, Georgia, stuff like that. I always get a ticket in Florida, so that's just I'm gonna get pulled over. I always fight it. I always win. But yeah, all the other places other than it's like Virginia, you just kind of play ball. They're with you. But that's the thing is I didn't know about all the whatever. What's that, Reggie?
Virginia hates me. The state of Virginia in general hates me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been through all those states with my truck for events and stuff, and I've never been pulled over, never been ticketed, never nothing.
Wow,
that's pretty interesting. Because I go to
Virginia,
I go to Tennessee right much, and for events up there, and I've never had a problem. And
yeah,
do you trailer a lot of your stuff, or do you drive it in?
No, I drive it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I guess to put it in perspective, so my truck's only got 11, almost 11 and a half inches of lift. I mean, that's a considerable difference between that and a truck that's, 21 inches off the ground. You know what I mean? So that's a big difference.
I want to see it.
Yeah. So we got Reggie. We got to upgrade this so that people can show their vehicles.
.com. It's right there.
Yeah,
I drive a Ram too, but not that big.
That's what I'm talking about. There you go. Nothing but Ram love. There you go.
Yep.
She's
I
wanting to
gotta
get
go,
it
guys. Though, but thank you for having me. I
Yeah,
gotta
have
go.
fun.
Enjoy my magazine.
Hope to see you at the next show.
Yeah, good job on the cover.
Bye.
Yeah. All right. So Mitchell, you were saying something there before you got interrupted.
Yeah, I was at 16 inches, so I'm a little bit higher than he. The major
Yeah.
cities, Tennessee's normally where they get you. It's like Nashville, Knoxville, and Pigeon Forge hates it.
Yeah. So we need the big
Yeah,
cities
and they
where
have all those truck meets there.
Oh yeah,
They have all those truck meets. They don't, so who knows? But now I can say that, like the lighting on cars and all that kind of stuff, they are hard pressed on some of these states. I have been pulled over for that stuff.
What were you saying, DJ Mays?
What's that?
Were you saying something there? Or?
No, my wife decided to bring my mother-in-law's dog over here. I'm like, why do you have the dog here?
We'll take it and impound the dog. So, Shane Andrews, have you had any issues with your truck so far? I don't know do you drive or do you truck it in?
I have enough gas to get off the trailer.
Yeah.
I strictly trailer it. The only problem I had is like Mitch would give me out of gas one time. One time I ran out.
Oh,
of
you're
gas.
never hearing the end of that.
Nah, but that's the only problem I have.
In fact, Mitchell sent me a message the other day and it said something about gas, and I thought it was about you, but I wasn't sure. Was that you?
Yeah.
So I guess it's
for like probably 20 minutes before somebody said you might want to check the gas, and then I, undid the gas can, and I don't smell anything in there, so I'm probably out of gas.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing is most of the stuff I've had a problem with around here has just been exhaust oriented. In other words, they think it's aftermarket. We had a friend that was actually pulled over. The stock exhaust did not have a muffler system on it. And he was pulled over for it. And the guy says, you took the muffler out of your system. And the guy's like, it didn't come that way. And they had a big argument about it. They finally took a picture of he had the picture from the original, like the way it was set up. So and showed it to them, and they were just like, okay, I guess we're just gonna let you go. And I was like, yeah, there you go. I think there was one that did make it to court though for the car, and it was like, it must have been embarrassing because it's like it doesn't come that way. Like you can't fix what he's like, return it to stock. And it was like, this is it. This is how I returned it. So but anyway, so DJ Mays, you're the last one. How much trouble have you had?
You know, I can honestly say through the years, I've had little things here or there, you know, an airbag blow or something. But, you know, when I had my Pro Hopper front hydraulics on my second S10, my white one, for whatever reason, and I went with Pro Hopper because at the time, everybody was buying Reds and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, I want something that's got a real reputable name. I want something that I know is quality. So I bought Pro Hopper. Biggest mistake of my life because the dump O-ring in it just kept blowing out. So there had to be something manufacturing wise inside there that was wrong or bad. And that's what created my problem. But me being 21 years old, rather than trying to fix it, I just kept putting a Band-Aid and kept replacing the O-ring and whatever. But that was probably the biggest extent of most of my problems. My new truck, or I should say new truck, the truck that I've had since 2013, honestly, I've driven it all over the country. I drove it to Mini Nats in 2020, which was 9 hours one way. I drove it to every single show it ever went to, and I never really had any problems. And now I'm in the middle of completely redoing it from front to back. I decided to go with a V8, which, knowing gas prices now, was a pretty idiotic decision. But now, now that I have a V8 and it should be all completely brand new front to back, so I shouldn't have issues when it comes out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Right. So, I had a question. He brought up a question, and then he said the way he said it. I was like, that's big. So I has anybody had any big problems with their setups that they said, these are, you know what? This is what I would ask first. He was talking about the last time he drove, we did a 9-hour long drive to a show. That's something that for some reason around here, and Vinny can attest to this. Rhode Island, for some of us, are like 5 minutes away. And you would literally think it would be across and be like a visit to the moon. Like it just doesn't matter because it's another state. It's like feels like it's 50 miles. I feel like I'm one of the few people that drove the distance, and I'm guessing everybody out here has done the big drives. What's the farthest you've driven to get to a car show?
Oh boy, I think I got the farthest one.
We'll leave you for last, Reggie. What do you got, Brett?
Oh, gee, thanks.
14 hours.
14
Mobile,
hours.
Alabama.
Brett's got 14. DJ, do you want to stick with 9 or you got a longer one?
No. Well, the longest I've drove my show truck to was 9 hours, but I DJ Eastbound Get Down in Ormond Beach, Florida every year, and that's 15 hours one way.
There you go. And what do you got, Shane Andrews? Yeah.
All I do, I trailer mine 24/7.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna stay out of it.
Las Vegas, that's gonna be like Las Vegas, so going over to Maggie Valley, that's just one. I think that's like 45, 50 minutes.
Well, Mitchell said you couldn't go farther than 40 minutes before you needed gas. Was that true?
I don't even think it goes 40 minutes without needing gas. I got open headers and then I'm out again.
Yeah. Hey Mitchell, what do you got what's the farthest you've driven for a car show?
Let's see. I've been to Bama and Daytona, so probably about 10
hours.
Yeah.
Okay, Reggie, you're up, buddy. This is it. What do you got?
Whoa. It's how many hours it's supposed to be.
Well, I don't know the hours exactly, but in 2001, my longest travel in a hydraulic lowrider Ford Escort was from Newbern, North Carolina to Fontana, California.
And how far was that? How many hours?
A long ass time.
A lot.
So Vinny, I actually set him up because I think you've gone the most. I was like, I wasn't sure, but I was going to check with him first. He has long ass hours. What do you got?
Well, it's tough because I mean, my truck, I've only driven really locally and I haven't really taken it much out of the state, but I took a trip to Ireland just for a car show.
Ooh,
He got me beat.
Reggie.
Oh,
Reggie, I had a feeling. It was a setup. I knew it was going to happen, but I'm sorry.
I didn't drive there, obviously.
Right.
So I don't know if that counts.
yeah.
But-
Well, he didn't ride in a hydraulic car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I took it ended up turning into a couple week long family vacation.
Nice.
But the main reason that I went to Ireland was for a car show.
See, I would have thought it'd be even better if you said not only did I have the car changed into a boat, and we just used the car the whole way across. But anyway, so yeah, it's been a great show tonight. We're at the hour mark, and the algorithms hate us when we do more than that. So we're going to call it quits for tonight, and we'll be back next Wednesday. Every time at 7, I want to thank Brett from Showboards for coming out, DJ Mays, Shane Andrews, Kelly Marie for the cover girl for the last magazine for ECS, Vinny of Life in the Passenger Seat, Shane Gentry, Mitchell Metcalf, Showdown. Don't forget to check out Showdown in the Valley, because that's going to be a big one coming up soon. And as always, my production and Lord of ECS, Reggie, and I'm your host, Primo. Remember, we're here every Wednesday night, 7 p.m., Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the major things. Remember, if you're a car guy or car scene person, if you got a car show that you want to promote, a type of car, product, anything you want to come out and tell us about, we are here to talk about it and have a great conversation. So we will see everybody next week at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And don't forget, while you're off the show, check out Control Freak at controlfreakcompany.com, which is our sponsor. See if they have anything out there, as well as you can buy some of the merch over at ecsmagazine.com. Thank you guys for checking us out. Well, that's it for tonight. And is any parting words for you, Reggie?
Yeah. Everybody stick around for the after party. See ya.
Have a great night, guys. You keep rolling.